Right, is this still shut? Doesn't look like it. No signs. Right, in that case I've got to indicate signal because I've got a car rushing up behind me. Okay. Back out on the road bike. I did actually do another ride. I kept rambling on about losing weight and getting fit, and oh my god, you've heard it all before. Very dull, very boring, and what does it really matter if 6 months time I'm just the same as I am now, which is usually what happens. You know, initial weight loss, it all comes back on. Of course it'll be middle of winter by then. Well, just coming into spring actually now. It's late in the year now, isn't it? Comes around quick, doesn't it? What was it, 16 weeks to Christmas? And bloody hell, are those weeks moving fast. Yeah, bus. We need a bus. We need a bus to change the lights. Hey! Right. What do I... let's say nothing about it. Now, yeah, I haven't been given any set instructions for today. Just says endurance. So is that zone 2? Is it a mix? Does it mean long distance? I don't really know. Anyway, what's that? Oh, it's just, you know, lights, traffic, junctions. Come on, we need to get out of town, get away from all this rubbish. There's a car behind me. I'll get over early because it's quite wide here. If they don't hurry up, I'm coming back out. Missed your chance there, didn't you? Anyway, and potholes, and again. So endurance, what does it mean? I suppose to me, it means anything around 100k, 60 miles. Not necessarily at a fast rate, but a reasonable rate. Yeah. Okay, he's turning. No, he's not turning. He looked round the roundabout as if he was going to go, then went straight on. I must admit, as a fat bloke, there is something satisfying about, you know, overtaking. All right, let's be honest, overtaking all these roadies that look like roadies on their 5-figure road bikes. But then, of course, really, they're probably doing the same as me, just out enjoying riding, not really training for anything. You know, they're just enjoying their super duper bike. And I kind of feel the same way, actually. Okay, so this bike only cost me 1,850 quid on special offer. Obviously, I've spent a considerable amount on it since, plus what I already had, and that's made it mine. So as far as I'm concerned, this bike is as good as, probably better than any Specialized Pinarello, Scott, you name it, because I haven't spent 10 grand and then changed all the parts on it, you know, or I haven't spent 10 grand and then kept it as it is because it was 10 grand. I've spent a small amount of money and then spent about the same again, making it mine. And that is just, well, that's why I love it. You know, handlebars are the right width, stems the right length, I've got the tyres I want, the wheels that I want. I say the wheels I want, okay. These are, you know, these were 600 quid from Wiggle. Primaveras, just as they were going out of business, got them cheap. I think they're about 800-900 quid usually, so I thought I'd just go for it because it was a good price. Are they the best wheels in the world? No, but they look epic on the bike. It just changed the whole look of it. And to this day, they've just been fantastic. Yeah, bearings are still solid. I've had to take the free hub apart a few times and just re-grease and clean it. That's just basic maintenance, isn't it? And because it uses the DT Swiss Mornate sort of system, ratchet system, I don't even need a tool to take it apart, you know, just pulls off. So I'm quite happy with these wheels. Yeah, they weigh about 1,500 grams, but you know, I've got another set that are only 30 mil deep, and they are much lighter, and those are the ones I put on when we go to Mallorca. There's a bit more climbing involved. Anyway, so this is my first, well, I say first, okay, I don't know how to quantify it, but this is my first ride back since cellulitis, where I'm just going to go out and see what I can do. I don't know that I'm gaining any fitness just yet. I'm walking quite a lot. I did some weights the other day. Sorry, what'd you say? Weights? Yes. But it's all part of a plan. You see, what I realized was everything in people's lives is intertwined. Absolutely everything. So you can't really learn, or you can't really train, let's say, for cycling if you don't include diet. And there are so many different things about diet. Some of them psychological, some of them just knowledge. You know, what do you eat? Pairings, things that go together, meals that are balanced. Where do you even get that information? Well, I know where I get it from. But everything is intertwined. Taking notice, being aware, that's another big one. I am, and always have been really, quite aware of what's going on in my body. I have ways of dealing with different things that happen, and up to now they've been pretty good. They sort of work. It doesn't mean they're right, and this is the thing, isn't it? Nothing behind. Never is down here, to be honest. Go on in. Yeah. So where'd you get all this information? You can't get it from Google, can you? Google's useless now. Absolute waste of time. If you want to know how much something costs, if you want to know where to buy stuff, yeah, great. But if you want actual information, absolutely useless. If you put in anything to do with weight loss, nutrition, all you'll get is a whole load of sites that have spent a fortune on SEO to make sure they're at the top. So how do you trust that that information is correct? And of course, the information they have, they don't necessarily want to give you unless you sign up to their £60 a month system. You know, they've paid money to be at the top there. So how much have they paid? Have they paid more than they pay on the system, on the nutritionalists, on the science? You know, is it just stolen information from elsewhere, repackaged? Yeah, so I would say Google is absolutely pointless these days. It only has a place if you want to buy something. So anyway, with that in mind, I thought, where else can I get information? I guess I could go through the internet and try and find different things and do research, but oh my goodness, again, hours of work, no guarantee of success. So I got myself a new friend. His name's Chaz. You probably know him as ChatGPT. I let him do all the legwork on the internet. Information comes from multiple places. The depth at which it goes is unreal. It is like having a personal coach in every single part of your life, if you want it. And of course, you're still in control because you just don't log on. If you've had enough, you don't think you want to have those hard conversations today. But of course the trick to it is to have those hard conversations and to tell him everything, uncomfortable as it might be to even type it into the computer or phone or tablet. But what I will say is this is something I looked at some months ago, and I didn't realise just how many people are doing this. For different things. Whew. That was hard. Yeah. The fitness is still waning slightly. So anyway, I started with, you know, oh dear. This is not like me at all. Where's Julie when you need her? I'm not being unkind when I say that, of course, when I ride with Julie, I only need to be as fast as she is. And just at the minute, as I'm returning to fitness, that is plenty as far as I'm concerned. Now, don't get me wrong, Julie is fit, and when she puts her mind to it, she's strong on the bike. But she's been having a few doubts recently, physical problems to do with the chemo and that, so of course the doubts creep in, so she's not quite as strong as she used to be. I mean, she is, as long as she doesn't think about the negatives. So just at the moment, I'm living quite an easy life on the bike. Of course, there's no excuse for that this morning, so I am finding it hard. So this morning, endurance might just mean getting it done. Right, always start slow on this one. Steep at the beginning, flattens off for the top 3 courses. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Go and have a coffee or something. I'll tell you what, if this is what cycling's like in a calorie deficit, yeah, I'd rather stay fat. This is not me at all. Anyway, onwards. Let's have another gear. Yeah, I might get a few cars because this is a shortcut onto the A35. Have another gear. Okay, that's the hard bit done. So anyway, so I'm trying to talk more in hope, actually. Yeah, so yeah, I was amazed at just how many people are using ChatGPT in their everyday life. And do you know what? It just frees your mind, it really does. Not having to think about what am I going to eat, what are good macro combinations, what should and shouldn't be on the shopping list. Oh, so much headspace now. And I've been using it, yeah, for a while. And now, in the last 6 weeks, I've sort of really jumped in with both feet. So no longer is Chaz just looking at the macros in the food. He's now suggesting meals, shopping list, best times of day to eat, yeah, workout routines, mostly quite soft, Tai Chi, some strength training. Yeah, I got that wrong. I was supposed to do 12 sets, 3 reps. Me being me, just thought that was way too easy. I ended up doing 12 reps, 12 sets. The only thing I was disappointed with was press-ups. I struggled with press-ups. I don't know why. You know, I've always been quite strong, muscular. But I think press-ups is something you train yourself to do, isn't it? So I did 8 sets of 3 and didn't go too deep. Did I wiggle my bum a few times to get back up? Bloody right I did. Single arm rows, you know, anti-rotation against the bands for the core. Yeah, quite basic stuff really. There were some farmers carries in there as well, but I didn't do those because I do that all the time. If we go shopping, we walk. I've always got 2 bags to carry back. So he agreed. He said, don't worry about those. If you do them in everyday life, no need to do more. Of course, later that day, because my shoulders were stiff, we did take the car and do the shopping. However, I have carried shopping and other stuff back home about a mile each way, so about a mile at a time since then. Oh, that's nice. Some warmth. It's been quite chilly in the UK over the last week. Wind and rain, still windy. I do wonder when this wind's ever going to end. The last few years never goes away. Anyway, stop moaning. Out on the bike in the sun. I'm not in a rush to get home for work. It don't get much better than that, does it? So now Chaz is suggesting meal plans. I'm sticking to the 2,000 a day in the way of calories. However, anybody out there who said, oh yeah, I've done a calorie diet, 2,000 a day, it was horrible, hungry all the time, cravings, yeah, that's not happened. So it's not necessarily about the amount of calories you eat, it's more to do with the macros. It's got me on a high protein, well actually it's equal protein with equal carbs and relatively high in fats to stop me feeling hungry. Now for all you people out there who go, I can't have fats because of this or that, I would just like to point out there are different types of fats, and believe it or not, your body is actually designed to deal with fat. So I'm not scared of the fats, but it's the type. I think the biggest change is that there is none or very little in the way of ultra processed foods, and those are the fats you've got to be scared of. Yeah, there's none of those, or very little. Just trying to think. Every now and then I'm allowed some seeded toast, you know, with an egg or whatever. But even that I'm going to cut out. I went down to Waitrose. They have a very wide selection of breads. I took a photograph of the ones that I thought had the least ingredients, and they're usually the ones you can usually tell if it's ultra processed. They'll have an ingredients list as long as your arm. So when you're buying your protein powder and stuff like that, we'll move on to that in a minute, always go for the one with the least ingredients. So anyway, I took a picture of all the nutrition information on a few packets, uploaded them to Chaz, and he said the spelt sourdough. Yeah, Waitrose spelt wheat sourdough. So took it home. It's already sliced actually, and you get half a round, as it were. So That's the wrong word, isn't it? Get half a bull. That's the one. So I cut it down the middle. I had the bits that were too small as halves with some Marmite on. Marmite's a good thing, by the way. And put the rest in the freezer. So I could just pull out half a slice or 2 slices, stick it under the grill, egg on toast. I cannot tell you enough, okay, over the years of me doing this and getting it wrong, I agree, getting it wrong, one thing has stood out to me, and that is bread is the enemy. Okay, don't doubt me on that. Don't come back with arguments. It is the enemy. Okay? I'm not interested. I've been on this earth too long. I've tried to lose weight too many times. And every time I cuss out bread, especially, you know, brand name breads, especially, my health improves. I lose weight. Okay? But my willpower gives out because there's just so many nice things associated with bread, like Marmite on toast. So if you're going to have bread, have it sparingly and check what the ingredients are. Don't worry, I do understand just how wonderful, you know, a cheese and cucumber sandwich with a bit of salt on between 2 pieces of plastic white bread. Oh, fantastic, I get it. So don't for one moment think, oh, but I like that, I'm going to have that. I can't be that because I like it. You know, just understand that warm fuzzy feeling it gives you. Yeah, that is the enemy. Right, Braggers Lane. Yeah, that is the thing that's telling your limbic system in your brain that this is really nice and comfortable. Go and find yourself a chair and go and watch some telly and eat this because, oh yeah, this is comfort. Because that's what your brain is designed to do. To keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, to not do anything that is any way scary. And every time you think, oh, I must go out for a ride today, and you don't, that's your brain protecting you from the harsh reality of effort and being out in amongst the cars and scared. You have to overcome it. Oh, that was fun. Right, which way should we go here? Right. Morning. Tell you what, let's stay off of the main road for a minute because it is, what is it? 7:30. So it could be a little bit busy. I mean, say a little bit busy. This brand's called a Ringwood, for crying out loud. Probably 10 cars an hour, if you know what I mean. Alright. What have we got? Oh, it's all misted up inside, so I don't know what you can see and what you can't see at the minute. I'll tell you what I do. Oh look, there's a tree down. Oh no, there isn't. Huh. It's just a bit old and hanging over, a bit lower than the others. Anyway. Yes, it's a funny thing that once everything's explained in a very simple way and you can ask questions without the person you're asking, I say person, ChatGPT, without the, yeah, let's just say person that you're asking, getting annoyed with you keep on, you know, asking the same questions over and over again, or asking to clarify this bit and that bit and what have you, you learn very, very quickly that all the things you thought were right may not be as right as you thought they were, or may be completely wrong. So there you go. Anyway, little rant there, sorry. I don't like to rant, and obviously you do whatever you want. If you want to eat croissants at the coffee stop, that's probably okay because you're riding your bike. But when you see all these young racy kiddies eating nothing but pastries, riding their bikes, yeah, when you get over a certain age, that is not the way to do it. I'm pretty sure that most of them are just building problems in for later in life. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I guess if you go to an artisan sort of bakery, maybe there isn't all that sort of crap in the pastries, and maybe it's okay. But of course there's no way of knowing, is there? Yeah, so at the minute I'm in deficit, let's say. 2,000 calories a day, none of it ultra processed. What can I say? Food's bloody fantastic, actually. I make every single meal myself. Takes 20 minutes usually. I defy anybody to say that it takes them much longer, even sort of putting a ready meal or ordering, waiting, eating. Yeah, it doesn't take that long to do your own. I think the difference is I know in advance what I'm going to do. I've already been given meals, ideas, so I know in my head. I just walk in, grab the chicken, dice it up, all the lean mince or whatever it is, and I know I've got all the veg either in the freezer or the cupboard because I went by the shopping list. Obviously I'm not really somebody who likes being told what to do when it comes to food, so I do mix it around a bit, but because of the shopping list I can only mix it with other foods that are also good. And there's a very wide variety. Yeah, curries, rice, naan, Mexican, chilies, you know, kidney beans, rice. I don't like rice. I tend to swap it out for lentils or sweet potato. I don't see much advantage in eating rice. Carbohydrate, yes, but not much else. So sweet potato, normal potato, believe it or not, normal potato, white potato, is actually pretty good. You'd be surprised. It's just the way we eat it, isn't it, that's the problem. We have it deep fried, covered in butter, you know. But actually there are alternatives to that. And when you put butter in your potato, you're not really making it unhealthy, but what you're doing is you're adding a lot of calories. I never realized just how many calories there are in fat. And also, I don't know, anyway, also just how much processing is required to make it edible. So your cooking fats, your sunflower seed, you know, any seed oil is almost certainly processed to make it edible, because they're not really edible in their natural form. So some of you are going to find this shocking, probably. I've gone back to the old ways. Yep, lard, butter and extra virgin olive oil for, you know, salad dressings, things like that. But even the olive oil, very high in calories, so you have got to be a little bit careful the way you glug it on. Greek yogurt and cilantro, coriander, fresh of course, and some grated cucumber in it. Makes a fantastic dressing. So there's lots of things. You can have some fantastic food. It's just not delivered on the back of a motorbike. It's got the same names. Yeah. It's just that you saw it happen right in front of you, not just appear. Ooh. This is hard. Anyway, look, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't have a plan. There's no link in the description. I'm just saying, I sought out help, and at the moment, last 6 weeks, it's been amazing. And even though I've been using ChatGPT for little things, well, probably a year or so now, between work and personal stuff, yeah, the deeper I've gone in and the more information I've handed over, actually the more useful it's become, and the biggest difference it's made. Now, for all you people that are worried about handing over information, I do have to suggest to you, ChatGPT is not somebody on a computer at the other end replying. It is actually a machine. And yes, it may ultimately become the downfall of mankind. That won't be in our lifetime. And I can honestly say that the way I look at it is this. There are loads of people that say, oh, you know, it's going to take my job. It does this and that, and I do that, and it can do it quicker. I don't think that's going to happen. Not anytime soon anyway, because you still need the human interaction. You still need a human who knows what they're talking about to say, you know, that's not right, do it again, or can you tweak this bit because it's not correct, or don't worry, I'll go in and do that bit, but this is how I changed it, you know. I think if you go back through time, let's start with the Industrial Revolution, you know, all of a sudden steam engines replaced horses, which meant that the power was reliable, which then meant that you had machines that could make nails. So men didn't have to make nails anymore. But it didn't put all the nail makers out of a job. It just meant you could have more machines producing more nails more reliably, and you sold more nails. You know, there was no backlog, there was no waiting. Yeah, I mean, it really did push things forward, because everything all of a sudden you needed to build stuff and cut stuff and what have you was more readily available. And I sort of feel like we've had a few more of those moments through time. Computers were going to put everybody out of a job, weren't they? But all that really happened is that things got done quicker, so more got done, more ideas got thought up for products, more shit got sold, and now everybody's using a bloody computer, you know? And there's probably more jobs in, you know, that use computers every day than any other type. So, yeah, I'm not overly convinced that ChatGPT and AI is the beginning of the end. I think it's yet another tool. And I think as developing countries come online, there's ultimately going to be more customers, more demand. So I think this will just be a way to fulfill it, as has happened throughout history. I could be wrong. Like I say, you might have your own ideas, but yeah, that's just the way I see it. Right, what are we on? Right, we're on 20 miles, nearly. And if I am wrong, like I say, I don't think it's going to worry any of us. I don't think it's going to worry any of our kids either. Their kids? Maybe, who knows? As a replacement for a human being, right now, Chaz is very rudimentary. Very good at data, analytical stuff, seeking out the answers. But poor memory, you do have to remind him of things sometimes. He does get the questions wrong. You have to go back over and say, you know, just give it extra thinking time. Say, try that again. It's a machine at the end of the day. And if any part of the machine says, nope, can't do that, then obviously it corrupts the stream and certain things go wrong. So it's not perfect. But I'll tell you what, it's made and continues to make a huge difference to my life. Julie too, actually. I wouldn't say Julie's a Luddite, but she sticks to the things she knows, so she doesn't do much more than that. She doesn't go seeking new things. But yeah, yesterday we have a glut of courgettes from our veg patch. I think it happens every year, doesn't it, for everybody? And she wanted to know how to make a courgette cake, less fat. Breakfast time. Breakfast time. Yeah, she wanted to know how to make a courgette cake with less fat. So she went into her ChatGPT, which is the free one, just as useful, just less questions in a day, that's all. And it came back with a whole recipe and ingredients list, and it worked. You know, and she came out to me and she said, you know what, I think ChatGPT really is going to revolutionize our life. And she was talking about us in our retirement, what to do, what to eat, you know, how to look after ourselves. We haven't gone into the financials of things, you know. Maybe that will come, but no need for that at the moment. We're talking about the physical things we do, really. So there we go. Yes, I was just saying before the battery ran out that we haven't gone as far as to add in financial information or ask about you know, shares and investments and things like that. And I know some people do. And if you've got investments with a company, chances are they use AI, you know, to do some of the heavy lifting. But to me, financial stuff is a worry, let's say. You know, we've got enough to live on, we've got enough to do the things we want to do. If I start chasing every pound in investments and things, all of a sudden that's a job, isn't it? So I don't want to go down the financial route with AI. I'm quite happy with the way things are. I've got more money than some, less money than others. I'm happy with that. I also know that I've got more money than quite a lot of people, little flash. Woo! Flash cars, big houses, you know. And of course, I'm very lucky to be time rich now. And it seems to me, if you want all the flash cars and the big house, it usually means you're time poor, because you got to work to cover the interest on those payments. I don't have any interest on any payments. I'm quite old-fashioned like that. My nan was a reasonably big influence in my life, and of course she was from the pre-war Second World War generation. She worked in the factories, the munition factories and that during the war. And of course their outlook was very much save. Credit, things like that, didn't really exist. Not on a, you know, public level. Yeah, companies, what have you, private. No, it's not. Whee! All sorts going on. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like today where you just fill in a form online, you know, and 30 grand appears in your bank all of a sudden. Yeah, so she was very much, she taught me at a young age, save up, even if it was just a stupid comic book or a end of year annual sort of thing back in the day. The truth was, it was a lesson. It didn't matter what you were saving for, you saved for it. And because you'd saved for it, when you got the money in your hand, it was like, right, I've got all this money, do I really want that? You know? It wasn't impulse. And some people might say that I haven't done as well in my life as I could have done because of that way of thinking. Well, I've done well enough. Yeah. I've been very lucky. And I think part of that is because I've been reasonably steady, not really done stupid things that could have paid off, but at the same time could have been catastrophic. Right, what are we on? 22 miles. No. See, miles again. I thought it said 21.8, but then it says 21 dead. So anyway, here we go. Do you know what? I'm actually feeling stronger as this ride's gone on. Not a fasted ride, for a change. I nearly always go out fasted in the morning. I say fasted, usually have a coffee, filter coffee. We make our own. And Chaz has introduced protein shakes. Now, I've always avoided them. I've thought they're processed, they're not real, I don't need that in my life. But Chaz sees it differently. I did point this out to him, but he came back and said, again, the same thing. Go for the one with the lowest amount of ingredients, because less process and it gives more room for calories and sugars to be introduced in the way of fruit and roughage. Chia seeds, absolute revelation. Yeah, you gotta get used to them. But we've got some soaking in the fridge now. We just spoon them out or measure them. But everything as far as stomach, bowel, kidneys, it all seems to be falling into place. And the weight loss, well, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's just working. Do I feel hungry all the time? No, never do. I go out for a walk. And it goes. And of course I burn extra calories. Ooh. Now, I do have a bit of a problem on the horizon. Because during the time I was overweight, still am, I've stayed fit. My body apparently has become very efficient. And requires a lot less calories in a day to function. Now when I go for a ride, calories are through the roof. You know, you can't escape shifting an awful lot of weight with, you know, a continuous 200 watts. That's always going to burn calories. But in my daily life, in a day, sedentary, I'm lucky if I burn 2,300. And I say sedentary, that's not sat in a chair for 24 hours. Still getting up, using a loo, making a cup of tea, maybe even a bit of Tai Chi. But no effort, let's say. So I don't know how that's going to play out later on. We'll see. It might mean that by the time I get to a constant weight that is healthy, I'll be eating like a mouse. Who knows? We'll see. Morning. But even that doesn't sound too bad, because I haven't done a proper deep dive into it yet, but apparently there are advantages to a low calorie lifestyle. I mean, I dare say riding a bike is not one of them. So I'm definitely going to have to change the way I fuel myself for exercise. I'm almost certainly going to have to, well, be like every other normal human being. You know, not rely on my onboard stores, but actually take on fuel. Nothing behind me. Herne Road, Matcham's Lane, call it what you want. Yeah, it used to be used as a bit of a shortcut, but now the Wessex Way spur road down from Ringwood does not get as busy as I remember it. I used to use it a lot. I worked in Ringwood, and when I was working at the garage, right, car back now, it was a good road test route. Yeah, it's not nearly as busy as it used to be, except on holiday weekends. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's thunderous traffic going up and down all day, carries a lot of vehicles, but yeah, it moves a lot better than it used to. So this road doesn't get nearly as much traffic as it once did. But again, with all the corners, bumps, braking, accelerating on this road, it was also a very good road for road tests. So I'd go up the spur road, back down Matcham's Lane, or vice versa, depending on what I'd been asked to check. Generally speaking, it was just up to Ashley Heath and back, but you know, if there was a clunk or a rattle or a rub or something, this is a great road for that. Woo-wee. Right, car behind. There we go. You'll have to wait a bit longer. So the upshot of everything, or in summary, which is something Chaz is very good at, summarising what we've talked about and giving me a crib sheet. So in summary, yes, ChatGPT is very much intertwined into my life these days. Julie's too, to a point. Have the changes made a difference? Yes, incrementally they have over time. And I can honestly say that now they make a significant difference and life is better. I have a better understanding of how things work. It's amazing how you can just tweak little things. Woo! I know you don't have to with this Ultegra, but maybe I should just release the power a little bit on the gear changes. Anyway. I'm going to go and let it, am I going to let Chaz take total control? I don't think so. I have my uses. He has his place. And at the moment, it's quite clear what that place is. You never know. His place in my life, our life, might expand. It might die away. But like I say, since starting this, I'm absolutely astounded at how many people are using ChatGPT in their life. As a fitness coach, as a cycling coach, as a diet coach, you know, and you can tailor the responses. So obviously AI will nearly always try and mirror your attitude. So if you're sort of bright and polite and cheery, that's what you'll get back. But I've made it quite clear to Chaz, when he needs to tell me the way it is, he needs to do it. I'm not looking for a yes man. I'm looking for somebody who can improve my life. And sometimes that means telling me things I don't want to hear. And that has happened on 2 occasions already. And annoyingly, he was right. Anyway, that's enough rambling for now. Coming back into Bournemouth now. Am I going to risk going over the muddy path? I don't know. Now let's go through town. It has been raining solid, continuously with breaks, let's say, over the last 2 days. So yeah, the muddy path is going to be a nightmare. So we'll go back in via the road. noisy. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm afraid whether you agree with AI or not, you are going to hear more about it from me, because I only ever talk about what's going on in our lives. But I dare say it won't only be AI and about Chaz. But I'll definitely be sharing the failures and the successes. Let's put it that way. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Come and join me on the next one.